Hey guys, how you doing? It's Tom. I was spending a little bit of time outside today, but I thought I would take a break and talk to you about the big news of the day. President Trump has announced that the United States is pulling out of peace talks with North Korea. Now, of course, President Trump's political opponents, the Democratic Party, the warmongering neoconservatives, the rhinos, Republicans in name only, the deep state, and the corporate mainstream media. By the way, if you want to know how you should feel about President Trump at this point, look at his clear list of political opponents, and you know everything you need to know about him. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. But anyway, these political opponents, led by the mainstream media, are declaring that President Trump has failed. And of course, they're very happy about this. Peace with North Korea, denuclearized North Korea would mean a great victory for the world, a great victory for America, and a great victory for President Trump. We can't have that, now can we? So anyway, they're declaring that President Trump has failed. Apparently, they haven't read The Art of the Deal. So, in 2015, 2016, leading up to the election, if someone told you that North Korea was going to agree to start talks to end the Korean War, which has been going on since the 1950s, dismantle part of its nuclear program, and hand over all American prisoners without getting anything in return, what would you have said to them? You would have said, bullshit. There's no way that's going to happen. I would have told you that too. No freaking way. And why has that happened? Did it happen because President Trump operated from a position of weakness? No. President Trump took office and he instantly called out North Korea. He put heavy sanctions on the regime. He tweeted out that Kim Jong-un is the little rocket man, that Kim Jong-un has a button, but President Trump has a bigger button. I mean, basically, President Trump said North Korea's leader, the god on earth, has a tiny little penis, and he said it for the whole world to see. And sure enough, Kim Jong-un, the ruthless, crazed dictator, he's not crazy, but he is ruthless, authoritarian, murderous, terrible human being. Not crazy, though. What did he do? He backed down because he has a respect for President Trump, because President Trump understands Asian politics. They're not these let's have tea politics of France, England, and Western countries. Countries in Asia operate through strength. They respect strength. So President Trump got the attention of Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un made all of these concessions without getting anything in return because he takes President Trump seriously and he doesn't want to end up dead, quite frankly. So North Korea gives up 3 American prisoners. They start to denuclearize at least some of their test sites, and they start talks with South Korea about ending the Korean War and possibly starting a normalization of economic relations, which will be great for the world, great for the people of North Korea, because right now they don't have food to eat, and if they would just get westernized, they would be much better off. The more free a society is, the more capitalist a society becomes, the freer it becomes, the more prosperous its people become. So all of this is going on. They set the peace summit, and then Kim Jong-un calls out America, says, why is it that the United States of America and their military are participating in military exercises with South Korea? We might pull out of this summit. And does President Trump budge? Nope. And then a North Korean diplomat comes out, makes fun of Mike Pence, forget exactly what he said, basically called him incompetent, called him weak, said he's not Donald Trump. Well, that's Donald Trump's number 2 man. So how does President Trump respond? He pulls out of the summit. So it goes from North Korea potentially pulling out of the summit to President Trump seizing on the opportunity of Pence being made fun of and pulling out of the summit himself. And he sends a message to North Korea again. understanding Asian politics because he's done business, hard, cutthroat business in Asia for many years. That if you disrespect us, if you disrespect my number two in command, that's disrespect of me, and we're going to pull out of the summit. Well, where does that leave us in terms of peace, right? Where does that leave us? Well, have any of these people read The Art of the Deal? Because in The Art of the Deal, President Trump explicitly states that one of the strongest pieces of leverage you could have in any negotiation is walking away. And Scott Adams actually predicted, who he's been right about this. If you want to know what's going on with North Korea, Scott Adams has been right about this for months and months and months, dating back a year. He said this would all happen, and he said that, look out, expect both sides to probably walk away from the deal. Walking away isn't the end of a deal. It's just another part of the negotiation. Make no mistake about it. They're going to come back to the table, and peace talks will again start up, maybe next month, maybe next week, maybe in 6 months. But they'll come back to the table because Kim Jong-un, the same man who gave up American prisoners, who shut down one of his nuclear programs, who started peace talks and got no concessions, still fears, because he still has a fearful respect of President Trump, that opposing President Trump too harshly will result in him being murdered, possibly Gaddafi style, sodomized in the street. President Trump walks away from the deal because that's how he maintains his leverage. If Kim Jong-un was able to insult the American military, insult President Trump's number two, Mike Pence, then President Trump would lose his respect and lose his leverage. Walking away from the deal is the art of the deal. President Trump is maintaining control, keeping his leverage. Make no mistake about it, they will get back to the table. And when they do, I'll play this video back for you and say, see? I told you so. But of course, the mainstream media and Trump's political opponents want to call this a political win. Bernie Sanders criticized Trump on Twitter, I saw, saying, America needs real diplomacy, not spur-of-the-moment diplomacy. Oh yeah, because I'm going to listen to Bernie Sanders over Donald Trump when it comes to making big deals in tough negotiations. Give me a break. I mean, but that's the mindset of these people. Look at Obama as an example. Look at the Iran deal. President Obama was so desperate to get a deal that he gave Iran 150 billion, whatever amount it is, I think it was 150 billion US dollars as part of the Iran nuclear deal to get American hostages back. Do you think President Trump is bribing people or he's operating through a position of strength? And Iran knew that Barack Obama was desperate for a deal because he was worried about his legacy. So they were able to use leverage to get things from President Obama. Ultimately, I mean, whatever about the deal, I don't like American intervention in Iran, but it wasn't a great deal from the start. If the objective was to stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons, it wasn't going to do that, at least over the next decade. Look at Barack Obama and how he dealt with China. He operated from a position of weakness. He went on the apology tour, right? Well, when he showed up in Asia, when he showed up in China, his plan landed, and he was embarrassed. The Chinese government did not send their president. They did not send Chinese diplomats. They did not have the military there. There was no red carpet. The media was barely there. It was as if a nobody showed up because they didn't have respect for President Obama. He didn't understand Asian politics. He operated from a position of weakness. They don't respond to that. That's not the culture. When President Trump showed up to China, there was a red carpet. The president of China was there, waiting on the tarmac. The Chinese military was there, waiting to greet President Trump. All of the Chinese media was there. It was a big deal. And as we've seen, President Trump just this week got China to announce that they will be buying billions of dollars of American-made products, something that's just remarkable. He's eating away at the trade deficit because he understands how Asian politics works. He understands the art of the deal. So President Trump pulling away from North Korea is not weakness. It's not him failing. It's not the end of negotiations. Pulling away is just another step in the negotiation process. President Trump will always operate from a position of strength. Just look at immigration. He came out strong on immigration. He said that we're going to deport all the dreamers. We're going to build a wall. Mexico's going to pay for it. Well, of course, all of that wasn't going to happen. And when he got in negotiations with the Democrats, he offered amnesty for all of the dreamers plus 1 million people. The media doesn't report this, but he did. He said with the Democrats, I will concede, I will give you the dreamers. They can all stay in America, plus 1 million people could stay in America, and all we have to do is build the wall, change the immigration system so it's merit-based, end the visa lottery program, and end chain migration. And all of the people that I said I'll throw out could stay as long as they're not criminal aliens, as long as they're not in gangs committing felonies. He always operates from a position of strength. It's the art of the deal. It's how effective negotiations take place, especially when you're dealing with Asian cultures. They respect strength, not weakness. They respect Donald Trump's policy of speak loudly and carry a big stick. Hey guys, Tom again. I filmed this video in my George Washington holding a bazooka shirt. How badass is that? In fact, you can see George Washington crossing the Delaware River right there. It's a beautiful thing. But the reason I'm showing it to you is I am thinking about starting a product line. So do me a favor, just let me know in the comments if you would be interested in products like this. I'm in the design phase, very excited about it. I believe in capitalism. I believe in the free market, starting your own business. And if I could turn my political commentary into the selling of products that people enjoy, that I make profit off of so I could put the money back into my young business, well, I think that would be a win-win all around. So let me know if you'd be interested. Again, take a look at this shirt, George Washington holding a bazooka. It's badass.